Hello everyone and welcome to the Arbor Farm. In today's episode I want to show you how you can dig, store, divide, and share canna lilies in the fall. Let's get started. Canna lilies are a great piece for landscaping. They have beautiful showy flowers, and this specific variety that I'm working with today has red flowers with red leaves. They get about 6 feet tall and they make a great privacy screen or beautiful showpiece in any landscaping. Canna lilies can be known as somewhat of a tropical plant, where if you live in a cold region like us in zone 6 and your ground freezes in the winter, you're going to want to dig them out if you want to enjoy them for the next season. If they freeze or if they're left in the frozen ground, they will die and they will not come up again next year. Also, if you have canna lilies and you live in a warm zone where the ground doesn't freeze, you also might choose to dig them out just because they simply multiply so much every year. And keeping your supply down, sharing them with friends and family members, might be beneficial so that they don't overtake your landscaping. So let's take a look at these particular ones that we've dug out. So we have a clump of rhizomes here. Some people refer to them as bulbs or root structure. They're actually known as rhizomes. We have cut off the top and then we dug them out. And so I'm gonna break off as much of the loose dirt here as I can so that I can show you what I'm talking about and how this rhizome has multiplied this year. So when this rhizome was planted in the spring, I think I just about got the dirt off. When this rhizome was planted in the spring, it was planted as a single rhizome like this, so a small piece. And then over the course of the season, it has grown and multiplied. And so when you dig these up in the fall, if you choose to dig them up, you might find that your rhizome has multiplied 10 to 20 times. They can get very large. They can get so large, in fact, when you dig them out, they are just massive. Like, I would estimate that this guy weighs easily 20 pounds. It's massive. So, started as a simple little rhizome, one season grew to this massive rhizome. Now needs to be divided. So when we're dividing rhizomes, first we start by just dropping them on the ground and letting as much dirt as we possibly can fall off. So that gets a fair amount of dirt out of the way. You can see now that it's starting to loosen up, and I'm getting little rhizomes coming off of this. You can see that my bundle here is loosening up, getting a few pieces off of it, and so I'm ready to take a closer look at this now, and I think I can probably start splitting pieces off. I know that for sure that these that have shoots coming up out of them, if I leave each division with one of those, it's for sure going to come up next year. So that is my goal. I've just taken my hands and broken these apart. I can see that this one has a shoot coming up out of it, so it should be a good division, along with this one here has a shoot coming up out of it. Could potentially get a couple of more out of this one too, I think, and have them be viable as well. So they're really easy just to break apart with your hands, and once you get the dirt pounded off of them, you can see better what you're working with. I've adjusted my camera here so you can see what I'm working with. I easily got 20 divisions out of my single clump that I dug up. So I easily have 20 divisions. And when I plant these back in the spring, again, I'm just gonna want one little section, and that's going to multiply again for me. So I can take these divisions now and I can either prepare them to be stored or I can prepare them to be given away as gifts. If you're like us, we're in Michigan and we live in zone 6, so it gets cold here. If you're in a place that it gets cold in the winter, the ground freezes, the temperatures outside drop below freezing or 32 degrees Fahrenheit, you're gonna wanna find a place to keep these that is cool, dark, and not too wet and not too dry. So we like to store them in our unheated garage, but if you have an unheated barn or a shed or a basement, those are all possibilities that might work well. And we just stick them in a cardboard box or in a tote without a lid, a paper bag. Any of those things will work to store your rhizomes for the winter. You also want to make sure they have good airflow, so you don't want to clump them, in a big heap together, but you can store them with good airflow throughout the winter. So if you're looking for a gift for the neighbor, the friend down the street, the parent, the grandparent, and you're not sure what to do for them, people love flowers, and so sharing your rhizomes is a good possibility, even if they only, enjoy them for a season and don't choose to dig them up. If you're in that cold zone, that can be a lot of work for some people, but Canna lilies, beautiful showpiece that can be enjoyed throughout the season in your landscape or make a good privacy screen as well. Thank you for joining us for today's episode. Our goal is to create content that's helpful to you, and so we trust that this content has been helpful to you. If so, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel so that you can receive notifications as to when the next content is available. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.